Hello and welcome to another episode of Formula Car. I'm Arjun here, and joining me is Mahir.
Hey guys, what's up? Great to be back after 5 weeks. I
How
absolutely
was that
love this
race, Mahir?
energy.
Did you end up watching that race on Sunday? Again, it was 4 hours ahead, which was brilliant for me because I can just watch it from 9 to 11 UAE time rather than what, 1 till 3.
Yeah, no, I watched maybe a few laps and then I just kept dozing off because obviously I have work. But you know what? I saw the highlights. A lot of penalties.
Lot of them. In fact, I would say in this season, for the first time, I have seen this much penalties come through. In fact, this was actually the race which should have actually say it should have redefined a lot of things because of the regulation changes.
Yeah,
But then
I
from
agree with
lap
you.
one onwards, we started seeing chaos.
Chaos.
Lap one, turn
It,
one onwards itself, things were going shifting left and right. Like, keep the sprint aside because that clearly didn't excite me that much. It was just the usual thing. McLaren won, Kimi's streak of winning everything came to a halt. But
mhm.
um, again, kudos to Lando for winning that and equaling points with Lewis Hamilton, but still, meh. But the race altogether, lap one, after the first turn, Verstappen doing a 360, and then everyone is trying to kind of dodge their ways off.
Mhm.
It was disaster.
Right. No, I agree with you. I think there were so many things that went wrong. Also could have gone wrong, but because of a few drivers, I feel like that kind of changed. But very interesting. Also, I still disagree with the whole sprint race thing because I just feel like it's more to do when you actually go watch the race in person. People still just look at the practice sessions and the race. They don't really look at sprints. I mean, they look at the highlights, but they don't actually sit down and watch the sprints. Unless they're free in life on that day.
And the actual thing is that with this race, weather was a huge uncertainty
Mm,
because of that one they brought the race the 4 hours ahead, and they said and during the race engineers did mention it's going to rain and stuff. But the clear irony was the rain really never came. It was just a few clouds doing their thing. And I'm like, if these people are sitting down in London, they should be basically knowing this very well.
it
Like,
changes. But London weather is it's bipolar. Like it changes every second. Like it's ridiculous.
yeah. So again, the big story definitely is that Antonelli again wins, Antonelli again leads. In
Yeah,
fact,
it's very
it's three,
surprising.
yeah, 3 races, 3 pole positions, 3 wins. The kid is not messing
Great.
around, not
You
at
know
all
what?
messing.
I'll tell you personally, and I'm gonna go back to the episodes where I said, why would you give a young teenager a seat in Mercedes? I think that's ridiculous. He's not experienced enough. He just came from F2. Now I feel like I'm gonna take my words back, and I'm gonna say, you know what? He's done a tremendous job. There's so many drivers out there that have so much skills. They have more experience, yet our young star has come and won, and it's amazing. Some people say it's luck.
Hmm.
I'm not going to say this race with the racing track and the straight lines. It comes down to the car, obviously, but also the driver.
Yeah.
And I think Kimi has nailed it to a point where he knows he's got nothing to lose. He's in the best seat ever. Even if you make a mistake, it's fine.
Hmm.
What he has done is amazing. And competing with Max, Lewis Hamilton, Lando Norris, Charles, all these drivers who have seen a winning side of it. Seeing
Yeah,
someone as young
absolutely.
as this win Miami is phenomenal. I think that gives a lot of motivation, not to just to all these other drivers in F2 and F3, but also gives a understanding of how important it is to change your drivers in the right age. Because
No, and
obviously,
also the fact that, say, again, Kimi had the rarest opportunity of getting a seat with one of those bigger teams, one of the guys in
exactly.
and again, it's not like, say, how again Behrman is brilliant, but the thing is that Behrman was first put installed in a Haas. Eventually,
Hmm.
only he'll make his way to Ferrari. It's not that Ferrari is going to take a gamble like this and get
Hmm.
a youngster up to the Ferrari. Again,
Yeah.
this is like it's not something which we see on a regular basis. It's something very different. But at the same time, again, we say Kimi. George Russell said this track is not for him. The car isn't suiting well. But the clear irony here is that his teammate just won,
I
even
feel like there's a
though
lot
he
of
did have a
there's a
good
lot.
fight.
I feel like Netflix is changing all of this. I feel like Netflix is like, listen, we need to make this interesting. How would you say a few lies? And then all of a sudden, Kimmy's winning. Like it's um it's amazing. I mean, I love it. I love the young
Yeah,
spirit. It's a good change to the eye
yeah,
to see a new driver. Also Mercedes. I mean, you know what? I keep saying I'm with Audi. I'm with Audi. But I think low key, I think I'm in the German side of supporting it. So I support Lewis Hamilton as a driver, but I still prefer as a team support to be Mercedes and Audi, 100%.
yeah. I think it's for you not anymore support Audi. It's just support the German flag, right?
No, don't say that, man. Jeez.
No, as in the German motorsport, or as in
Yeah,
the
yeah, the
German
engineering
manufacturer.
side of it, the engineering side of it, the automobile engineering side of it. I think, yeah.
Okay, that means we have a clear understanding. He doesn't like German footballers, but clearly German
No,
motorsport.
no, yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't watch football enough to and judge them in that way, but
Okay,
in terms of motorsports, I think I'm in a safe category to say they're one of the best in the world.
amazing. And can I also take a moment for those race suits? They actually look like Teletubbies.
You know,
If you
I was
look
gonna
at
say
it,
I was gonna say Barney, but okay.
no, Barney, yes, Barney is one stat. If you look
Uh-huh.
Teletubbies, and then again, it's not this one. No, with the purple now in, we have got like all the different colors of Teletubbies in. You've got
Oh
the,
yeah,
the
right.
yellow with
I remember that.
Visa Cash App. You've got
Hmm.
the red with the Ferrari. You've got the orange with the McLaren.
Yeah.
You've got the blue with the Williams. Like, bro, what's happening?
I got the pink. Yeah, I got the pink as well.
Who was pink? Ah, as an Alpine. Alpine was pink. So yeah, pretty much
Yeah.
the entire cast of Teletubbies made its way.
I feel like, you know what? I feel like colors are more like a marketing thing because the more striking the color is, the more attention they get.
Yeah,
That's what
absolutely.
I feel. I feel that's how
But
it,
again,
as a marketing
they were striking
expert,
colors
I
though.
would tell
I for a second thought that with the Mercedes car also go purple, because that
you.
would be like
You know
that'll
what?
be
I won't be surprised.
so.
Yeah, I won't be surprised. I'll be happy, pretty happy.
Like I'll be happy to not see other than the Petronas steel and the silver and the black. But a bit of a fact with Kimi Antonelli. Kimi Antonelli's this 3 wins in a row. Actually, is the first time since a Mercedes driver is getting it since 2000 and 2021. Because
Hmm.
Lewis was the last time who got that 3 wins in a row
Yeah.
in Brazil, Qatar, Jeddah. And that Michael Masi just denied him the fourth consecutive win, which I will not talk about because then this is going to go somewhere else. But speaking about all of them, let's actually talk a bit about the chaos on the track. Lap one, as we said, Max did his 360. The lockups, I was like, the lockups was brilliant for some reason. That's a for Charles, he managed to pull off somehow. Again, because the first corner is not that far away, right, from the starting point. But after that, I don't know if you've observed Lewis and Franco. That fight ended up Lewis damaging his floor. Again, a car with nearly 11 upgrades aim to be like, okay, this is it. This is the car. This should be everything. And again, definitely kudos to Lewis, despite having that much damage, was still in the top 7.
Can I just say something? I feel like with Lewis, do you remember the race where he had a flat tire and he had 3 more turns?
Silverstone.
Yeah. Yes. I feel like Lewis has come to a point in his racing career where he could damage control any kind of situation, where if it's flat tire or damages. I feel like he can really adapt to change quickly and then
Yeah.
just go with the flow kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Kimi wouldn't be in that kind of situation because obviously I feel like he's winning races, but he's not experienced enough to handle certain experiences in terms of
Exactly.
racing, right? I don't think I've seen Kimi in a situation where it's a dogfight with his own teammate or with another teammate, like another driver, right?
Mm-hmm.
With Lewis, I've seen all different experiences with him, and I've seen how calm he is. And maybe in his early career, he was not as good, but I think in his mid career to now and currently, I think he's come to a point where all he's doing is going with the flow and taking things by second, and the control he did even after those damages, because all eyes on you, the whole team's depending on you, fans are depending on you, and with that pressure, if you can still continue racing with those damages, phenomenal.
Yeah, like some numbers over here though. So he's lost basically 20 points of downforce with those floor fence damage, and it also caused like massive aerodynamic
But
performance loss, balance loss, and cooling
yeah.
issues. So clearly, either he could have gone red in flames, but he managed to do the bit, which is brilliant.
Yeah, which is good actually.
Yeah, like hats off to them. And I gotta say a bit of a shout out to the Ferrari engineers though, because they got 11 upgrades in a span of 5 weeks, and they got
Yeah.
the Macarena sorted off. But funnily, it was not Ferrari anymore. It's not a Ferrari only thing. It's now a Red Bull thing as well, bringing the Macarena wing. And very surprising results though, in terms of like how they've kind of worked for each driver. Definitely for Hajar, he couldn't do much because he crashed into the wall. And I don't know if you saw like this guy, like his reaction when he hit to that fence. And this guy, like, again, I didn't need like a radio for that. We can clearly kind of understand with the hand gesture
Understand.
what he was
Yeah.
after. Was just
Yeah.
brutal. And with Max also, like, again, did the undercut, went very well, and then he just like, okay, fine, here it is. At least he hasn't complained about the car. He's said,
Yeah.
okay, good, this is fine, we can take it from here.
Which is good. I feel like that's a great thing to do, because when you start blaming, that's where the biggest problems happen. And sometimes it's not with you; it's your luck. On that race day. So it's racing. That's all part of racing. It can't go as perfect as you want. Sometimes external variables can definitely ruin your plan of action to win the race, or at least come top 3, if not.
Yeah. In fact, say with this thing also, like Lewis did mention that his Ferrari was in no man's land. In terms of all the possible issues he can think about was there, and
No man's land.
Even though pace was there, it's just like he just cannot get them across. And now the problem is that because of this result, their difference with McLaren is significantly shorter.
Significant. Yeah.
As in, before it was 44 points. Now we are down to 16 points.
Just
Wait, funnily, 44 points. Lewis's number. 16 points. Leclerc's number. Very strange. But okay, why not? Um, but can we also talk about McLaren though? Because again, we saw that stellar performance from Oscar Piastri. Good job on him. Got that
Mhm.
bid done in Japan. But then now Lando has come forward. Lando, even though what he couldn't secure in Japan, he managed to secure it in Miami. Again, his one of his favorite tracks. In fact, the track which gave him his first win. So clearly, it was brilliant. But how do we see on that though? Is it just more like, okay, finally they figured out the formula to that Mercedes AMG engine, or is it more like some games being played around?
I personally think it's more to do with it's a mix of both. But you know what? McLaren's always been a very competitive team, a very active team as compared to Mercedes. I
Hmm.
feel like Mercedes is very they're not as free as McLaren, Red Bull, in terms of marketing. That's one.
Hmm.
But also as a team as well, I just feel like, um, me personally, McLaren is a team that would go beyond expectations, beyond everything, just to come across more intimidating.
Yeah,
As Mercedes is very quiet wolf, the discipline, they know what they're doing. They don't want to take too many risks, but they're in this Goldilocks spot where they don't want to take it too extreme, but they don't want to take a fewer chances because they know all the strategies are very calculated, and I feel like sometimes just leave it to luck, and that's what McLaren does. I feel like they obviously they do a lot of experiments and stuff because they have the money, resources, investors, but also
yeah,
I feel like Mercedes is such a heritage team. It is a heritage team in Formula One, but also it's such a big brand, um, that it can't really any races they lose also degrades the brand itself as well. So, and McLaren is no,
absolutely.
I won't say McLaren's fairly new. I would just say that McLaren is not a heritage team, so they're more likely to be a rebel in terms of the upgrades, and they do all that marketing. They can take the risks and be like, it's okay, it's Formula One. It's all
Mhm.
about pushing the limits and seeing what we can do. So fair
Yeah.
enough.
No, but with what you mentioned about McLaren not being a heritage team, I don't know. Like it can be probably like a rebel heritage at this rate because again they have been there in the sport long enough. Again, definitely not before Mercedes for sure because Mercedes
Yeah.
has been there for the, as in Ferrari has been for there for the longest. Mercedes was there, but then
Mhm.
then had to go in and out. And then there was McLaren with the continuous participation in Formula One. So I wouldn't kind of put it that way, but I kind of get your point. But the question here is whether is it something like is this basically like a circuit specific thing or genuine step forward for the car? Because say with Miami, it has got some characteristics that suit really well for McLaren. As I said, Lando's first win was here. Last year it was Oscar's win. So
Mhm.
because it's got a mix of high speed and technical sections. Question here will be, will the same translate to Canada? Because that is a very different circuit.
Is it? I let me okay. You know what? Let me open up the track so I can establish what kind of. I mean, I do remember it. I just want to see the track in a way where I can. Okay, there you go. Okay, 70 laps, 305 kilometers. Okay, race distance. I feel like there are a lot of straight lines in this for sure. A few corners. There's one chicane, which is from turn 3 to turn 7. And then I fairly think this is more like a speed, like a very quick one, as opposed to a lot of turns.
No, as in compared to turn wise, it's not a lot more compared to what we had in Miami, right?
Yeah, but I just feel like Canada is more like Canada used to be one of my favorite tracks, right?
Canada
And the
is
only
definitely
reason,
clearly what do you call for a Mercedes driver, it's their dream track.
no,
But
I would, well, yeah, 100% for Mercedes. I think for any Formula One driver, I think personally, I think I would. I mean, Canada should be a fairly, I wouldn't say easy, but a very
straight to the point track.
easy, yeah, straight to the point track. Like a few turns, but it's mostly straight lines. I think turn one and turn 13 is, yeah, turn one and turn 13 and turn 10 are the most like the opportunities for overtakes. The
Mhm.
rest are more to do with speed, agility, reaction times, and there's no DRS. But um, this is going to be interesting because obviously last year DRS played such a big role in Canada. I feel like this year, since there's no DRS, there might be something up someone's pocket to, let's
Mhm.
see. My honestly, and not that I want to give my predictions now, but I generally feel like McLaren, Mercedes. I won't say Red Bull, but I would say, um,
Ferrari.
yeah, it's yeah, Ferrari, 100%. Ferrari would actually pull something off here that you might be surprised. So, am I excited for Canada? Absolutely. I think it's going to be phenomenal.
Brilliant. And can we also talk about Liam Lawson's piece of art, which was toppling of Pierre Gasly? In fact, some of those pictures I saw, I was like, wow, the guy who clicked that where the car is like for a second, I thought that was photoshopped. But then
Yeah,
this was basically actual reality of what this guy pulled off. Like, imagine again, we always say big praises about Halo, and we will still
mm,
say because Halo is brilliant piece of engineering that basically protected a lot of drivers.
yeah.
The Halo again, what do you call the significance of Halo was again showcased at that race.
I've said this once and I'll say this again. I think one of the best engineerings in Formula One history was a Halo. That
Mhm.
protected Lewis Hamilton. That protected Max. Anyone who's crashed, except,
Yeah. If we look by that, Roman Grosjean, Zhou Guan Yu,
yeah,
the
I
names
was
go
just gonna
on.
list out all the drivers. Yeah.
Again, I just have on top of my mind because I was sitting and reading this the other day and I'm like, okay, interesting, good to know. But yeah, it's insane how that sort of bit happened. And again, he was performing really well. Again, as we said in the previous episode, Alpine has kept themselves in that position where they lead the mid pack, as
Yeah.
in they're there. They know what they're doing. They got the engine. It is not Renault, it's a Mercedes powered engine. They're doing their bit.
Yeah.
But it's like somewhere something has just happened. And then with this one particularly, again, I felt really bad for PM, but at the same time, it was Franco's best finish, I would say. He at least accumulated some points and got himself a pretty good finish. In fact, P7 he finished like 6 points there for the team, which good job on him because Alpine is now fifth in the standings, 6 points away from Red Bull, and
Yeah. True.
5 points away from Haas. So I don't know. Within this midsection, is this probably Alpine versus Haas, or because clearly we know Aston Martin nowhere near to be found. Cadillac, I wouldn't say they won't get a point. They will get a point sometime, but I don't know when. It will happen for sure. But I don't know when they won't finish the season with 0 points. My gut says that.
I think they will.
Oh, you? Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought at least like 1 point they can get over the course
The
of time.
possibilities of getting them is good numbers, but I'm just gonna stick with the no.
Fair enough.
I
Audi, we
just
don't know how this is going to go. Audi again. Firstly, I don't know what's Audi though. Of course,
you
but
better be careful with the words.
do you think like Audi can kind of bring that fight onto the midfield? I feel this is more like
Um.
Audi is trying to is becoming like a back marker at this rate.
Okay. Very long pause. Extremely sorry, but obviously I have to think of a proper answer. Uh. Look. Multiple factors. One being obviously the obvious one is they just started their career in Formula One. Are they new to motorsports? No. So that kind of proves their credibility in being in motorsports. I am assuming that it will take some time for them to actually be in the top 10.
Mhm.
Would they win any races this year? No. Would they be able to understand the concept of Formula One and the drama? Yes. So I think giving them this year just to learn is a great way of understanding what kind of mindset they're in. Obviously,
Okay.
every team's mindset is to win. It's it's
Mhm.
the fact that how they learn the process, make mistakes. See, from what I've understood from obviously doing what I'm doing in my job is when you keep doing micro mistakes, those compound and add up to a success. So when you keep making those mistakes and learn from them, and that's what Audi's doing. That's clearly what Audi's doing. They're making the mistakes. They're trying new channels every day, understanding which way is the best for them to at least come. I don't think their goal for this year is to win. Their
Mhm.
goal for this year is to make a remark to their investors and to everyone who's supporting them, showcasing that look, we are not here just for the branding or to showcase that Audi is in motorsport, but they're just focusing on winning, being leaving an imprint that you know what, if there's a day where Audi would come top 10, we would, and it'll take us time, but we'll get there. And I
Yeah.
believe that Audi is going to be in the top 10. Not this year, hopefully this year, but if not, I just feel like in 2027, it's going to be a change for Audi.
When you were just saying, I had like quick look at what Audi's goal they've kind of mentioned was. So Audi has got this thing called Mission 2030, which says that Audi aims to be the most successful F1 team in history and compete for championships within 5 years' time.
Yeah.
So this year for them is ideally is to just successfully establish themselves as a works team, score consistent points, and build foundation
Yeah.
for fighting for the championship in 2030. While targeting long-term success, their short-term objective is to adapt to the new regulation and solidify their position within the midfield.
Mhm.
And to be very honest, like yeah, to a certain extent, Bortoleto, yes, got secured some points, which was amazing. Over the course of 4 races, Nico still he hasn't opened the account yet. He's still what do you call along with the cat. He's the only driver other than the Cadillac and Aston Martin drivers to not open an account with points. Which again, Nico being Nico, let's give him some time. He will get it. He will make himself there sooner rather than later for sure. And yeah, and Williams, good race from them. That overweight car finally got them a couple of points. Like both Williams finished in top 10, which is amazing. I like Williams as a team. I like James Wells. In fact, yes, luck for some reason worked really well for them at this race. But yes, of course, it's not. We don't want to see a team that finished fifth in the standings last year. Just what do you call getting their first points in the fourth race? But again, as said, we have 18 races down the line, and in fact, this then things still can change. because now that I have heard, again, something which I've read, that sometimes Saudi and Qatar can make their Saudi and Bahrain can make their entrance in the second half of the season. Or if not, Turkey can make its entrance even before 2027. So we don't know. This is all I would say. Like, again, people listening, don't quote us. This is all at the end of the day speculation. We are just like coming here and saying things out. What we heard doesn't mean you're going to quote us. But it would be pretty interesting to see if Istanbul Park manages to get its way back a year earlier than expected. Because clearly, I'm pretty sure for Saudi, especially because Aramco being one of the title sponsors, would want that Saudi race to be brought back, right? So I don't know. It maybe if it makes its way, brilliant. If not, we continue with the existing racing going on. And what else we want to talk about? Yo, one thing which we had to highlight: stewards. This time, for the first three races, they were sleeping. For the fourth race, they just miraculously woke up and then started giving penalties like pew, pew, pew. Like, what exactly was going on there? These guys clearly, like, I don't know, what was it? Was it like something from FIA, like a memo going out saying, start giving penalties? Because all of the incidents over the past three races were just considered racing incidents. They were not penalty worthy. Here, you mute. You're muted, mate.
I'll tell you what, right? The reason why I think they were just sleeping, like, oh, just relaxing, just like, okay, this is a normal race, it's fine. And then maybe they saw, oh, we're not getting enough views. So Netflix is like, you know what, guys? Come on, look at the smallest things in life and just give them penalties. But no, honestly, jokes apart, what I feel is penalties are good. It keeps the race interesting. Was it unnecessary penalties? No, I feel like those were all quite necessary ones, except one or two. But yeah, I mean, look, if it brings in more drama in the race, then be it. I love drama.
We all love drama, in fact.
Can I just quote something? Can I just quote
Go on.
something
Go on.
that Drake said? More money, more problem. So when there's more money, there's going to be more problems. Okay, and that's how you go get along. So I don't see any issues on my end. So if he's done that, fair enough.
Again, I definitely have to agree with them. More money, more problems. Especially, I remember the days when I didn't have a lot of I didn't get paid like big, like, massively. I'm like, oh, okay, I can get things sorted of. I'm like, oh, I know how to live in a budget. Now that I earn a bit more, the problem
You
now is
can't.
I can't do that.
Fair.
Like, it's what do you call? Before I used to wear something more subpar, and now I'm like, I need to wear something like an Adidas, or I actually need to wear something like
Yeah,
Hugo Boss.
you're
So
an
yeah, I get the
Adidas
point.
boy. Are you an Adidas kind of guy?
What I'm wearing right now is Adidas.
Oh my god. Okay, I can't be friends with you, Arjun.
Why? You realize all your German teams are having Adidas kits, right? Even though I know you're like a pure Nike guy.
Listen, the day they turn Nike, you know what? I'll buy it. I'll just wear it on the day, and then I'll keep it back in the closet.
But yeah, who actually got called in? Let's kind of give a quick look at that though. So Russell got called in for separate collisions with Leclerc and Verstappen. Again, he didn't get
Mm-hmm.
penalty issued, called it a racing incident, no problem. Verstappen's collision with Russell and crossing the pit exit line, 5 second penalty post race. But again, he beautifully kept that 5 second lead. So nothing happened to him. Leclerc had the biggest impact though. Collision with Russell, repeated track limits violation, and driving in unsafe condition, which technically was a drive-through penalty, got converted into a 20-second penalty. So
Yeah,
because the penalty was issued after the race. If it was issued during the race, yes, this
the
was a
race.
drive-through penalty, get his thing done and out.
Mm-hmm.
Because it wasn't 20-second penalty, lost 2 places to his teammate and Franco Colapinto. And Isaac Hadjar for he'd been disqualified from qualifying for technical infringement, additional penalty for car changes.
That was
What
stupid.
else?
I'm so sorry, but that was stupid. I don't think that was needed.
Uh, clearly, I said like this. It's just that these, as you mentioned, Netflix said something to them, and they were like, you know what, let's do this.
Mm.
So definitely, I'm very surprised. I try not to be surprised, but I am surprised. I don't know what else to say. But like, yeah, obviously now that we have got Canada coming up, not this coming week, but definitely in 2 weeks' time,
Mm-hmm.
what will our predictions be? Let's give
What
that a
will a
thought.
prediction?
Yeah, I haven't done this in a while.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna say straightforward. Ferrari.
Okay.
Do you want me to be driver specific or?
Again, um, we can be driver specific. Oh no, you know what? Keep it team specific.
Yeah,
Let's keep that
it'll be
cliffhanger there. Yeah.
easier for. Yeah. So I'm gonna say Ferrari, Mercedes, McLaren, Red Bull. Yeah.
Ferrari, Mercedes, McLaren, Red Bull. Okay. Why Ferrari further?
You know what? During the race, I kind of felt the hunger. Like I felt like because of track situation of the penalties and the track itself, I feel like a Ferrari. It's a quick car, but during the turns, it's a bit heavier on the sides, on the pods especially. But with the Canadian track being, I would say 70% straight lines, I feel like they could really take advantage of that. Obviously, Mercedes, um, I think they're great. I think they're quick as well. The car is very flexible. But in a straight
Okay.
line, from what I've understood, in a straight line, a Ferrari is quick.
Oh, really? Again, I heard the other way around though.
No, I've seen a few clips where they've said that. Well, it also depends on the obviously weather conditions. If it's a perfect day without any and the tires heated up properly, they've said a Ferrari is quicker. So I may be wrong, but from what
Yeah,
I've seen
because
on.
what I have heard and read all this while was that Ferrari was is good at cornering. It has got good cornering performance,
Okay.
especially in medium to high speed sections of a track. Someone said on
Okay.
tire management and degradation, which I will question them because Ferrari has been very bad with their tire management because the car
Hmm.
is eating them. Race starts, we all know they kind of do that really well. Predictable
Yeah.
handling, that is something which they are good at, maybe. And but the weakness, one of them said, was straight line speed because it the main deficit for Ferrari is just the straight line speed. Especially you put it aside a Mercedes, it cannot maintain the pace with Mercedes.
Wait. Yeah. I
And
mean,
especially
look, I agree with you. I do
Mhm.
agree with you. It's just that sometimes I feel like maybe there's a chance that the Ferrari may be quicker.
Okay, maybe.
Yeah. Anyway.
No, at the end of the day, this is also what you call Lewis Hamilton's very first win was from Canada.
Mm-hmm.
So clearly, he will have some secrets which he will keep in his mind
Of
in terms
course.
of how the track will be and stuff, what are points to take for. And it's a car he designed. So clearly, he will have that sort of thought process in his head. So for
Mm-hmm.
sure. Okay. My predictions, I was going to say Mercedes, Ferrari, McLaren.
Interesting.
Just
Why would you say
because,
that?
uh, just because I feel like, see, if you think about it, for a Mercedes driver, even though when even though years where Mercedes didn't produce the best of the best cars, Mercedes ended up actually getting either a win or a podium in Canada. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just that that car, especially Ferrari engines, work really well in cold weather. Did I say Ferrari?
Okay.
I don't know why am I saying so much Ferrari for
So
some damn reason. I
Ferrari.
don't know
Yeah, I
why.
think I think you really you really miss Nathan. That's what.
Oh my god, please don't get me started.
All right.
Yeah, so that's like Mercedes clearly has a good chance, like a very high chance compared to Ferrari though, in
Mm-hmm.
winning there. And McLaren I just kept, but then we don't know. Max Verstappen can come back like an eagle. You may not know, so can be that.
Yeah, these days you never know actually what might happen, what not might happen. So,
Because if you look at it, 2022 it was Verstappen, 2023 was Verstappen, 2024 was Verstappen,
what must
2025 was
happen?
George.
Yeah.
So, and the last time Ferrari won over there was in 2018 when Sebastian Vettel was driving the car. So we may not know if history is going to repeat once again. 7 wins. The most successful driver is Lewis Hamilton. 7 wins for him. I don't know if
Of
he'll
course.
convert that into an eighth because he has got track specific records only in Hungary and Silverstone,
Mm.
which are like 6, 7, or 8. So if that happens, brilliant. Why not? If not, let's see how this goes. If Kimi Antonelli manages to get uh, his wins over, if the streak continues and if he continues to what do you call extend the gap, great, because he's the first driver now with 100 points, and there is I think about
Definitely.
20 point gap between him and Russell. So let's see. Fingers crossed on how this is going to go. But yeah, on that note, thank you so much for tuning on to another episode of Formula Po.
Wow,
Please
that was a
do.
quick episode, Arjun. That was
That was very.
crazy. Wow.
I know, but again, before we wrap up,
There you go,
please
2 minutes
show
and 45.
me though, which I have to reveal it.
All right.
Okay, Mihir actually said the first time since he switches a team, he switched because all the way till last year, myself and Mihir, we both were Mercedes fans, like hardcore Mercedes guys fans. In fact, uh, I only switched to. It's not that I completely support Ferrari. I'm like
Mm-hmm.
half-heartedly there just because of Lewis, but I still support Mercedes. Again, as long as Toto is reigning the place, I am there. But Mihir said he switched his allegiance from Mercedes to Audi. And then later on during the episode, he mentioned, my allegiance is to German engineering. Okay, just because. But then, in all honesty, again, because all Mercedes fans know, we were kind of treated like Ferrari fans at a point. And then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
like, change, and all of a sudden, there's a Kimi Antonelli winning back to back races. Like, poor guy felt so sad. He was like, okay, I'm coming to support Audi, but then Mercedes is now doing a lot better. It's winning and back to back. What's happening?
Fair.
Mihir, you have anything to say on that?
No, I don't. I really don't. I'm just mad.
But like, yeah, I think by the next episode we'll have the resident Ferrari guy also back
Hopefully.
in spot.
Yeah.
But till then, thank you so much for tuning on to another episode of Formula Pod. Please do like, share, subscribe, follow us on our socials, formula.pod on Instagram. And yeah, until next time, this is the duo from Formula Pod signing off. Goodbye and have fun.
All right.